Going to put landing system on just so it can start to pick up whatever it needs to in a little bit. We'll put some flaps in a sec. 250 is the flap speed actually. Wonder if we... Nope. Hello everybody, welcome to Chaz Draycott Media and welcome to another episode of Microsoft Flight Simulator. We're on the ground here at Chicago today in America. We're in the United States in this wonderful Airbus A320neo November 651 Alpha Whiskey for American Airlines, because this is going to be the first video I've ever done doing American ops, or, well, anything in the United States at all actually on Microsoft Flight Simulator. Usually all my content is over in the UK, over in Europe, but thanks to Lyle Headley, or Lyle Headley, sorry mate if I've got your name wrong, he's actually utilised the sort of charter a flight section of my website. It's something that I set up a while ago. I didn't know if anyone was going to use it, but it was just something to spice it up a little bit and maybe sort of vary the content slightly that I'm bringing to Microsoft Flight Simulator and obviously my channel, because it means that you guys get to choose a flight. You choose a starting point and a destination. There's a few terms and sort of conditions and things on there as well, which are explained on that part of the website, and you pay a little bit of money just to charter said flight for me to come and do it. Lyle has done that today, and we're going to be flying from Chicago to Marquette Sawyer Regional Airport. It's actually listed as an international airport on certain platforms, but it's a very small airport in the north of the United States, and we're going to be flying there today. It's a very short flight. It's not got the typical sort of departures and arrivals from Chicago up to there. It's only a really small regional sort of route, so we're not going to be... It might get a little bit messy. It might not be perfect, this, but we're going to do it, and we're going to honour it, and I'm really looking forward to doing this. So thank you very much, Lyle, for chartering this flight. Really do appreciate it, and I hope you enjoy the resulting video. Okay, we're in the cockpit. We've got the checklist, well, procedures list, sorry. There was someone that corrected me on that last time, for the Airbus A320neo. I've also got my little scratch pad thingy that I'm using. Obviously we're not on VATSIM today, but we've got the rest of the details all on there and good to go. So we're going to go through our cockpit preparation. Parking brake is on, using the Thrustmaster TCA Captain X pack as well. Oh, one thing I do need to check is that I've got my controls set to the right profile, because last time, as you see there, I was flying the PMDG 737. There we go. So speed brakes are disarmed and retracted, flaps are retracted, weather radar off, engine master 1 and 2 is off, engine mode up to normal, yes that's in the middle, that's this lever thingy down here, that's this little knob, so I've got it on my controls here that I can twist that. I also need to check actually that my graphics aren't going to destroy me today, so bear with on that as well. Actually, I will show you this. I'll put this up on screen now. So what I tend to do is I'll go global rendering quality onto low. Anti-aliasing, I just go for FXAA, to be honest with you. Render scaling, we go to 100. I turn motion blur and make sure that's off. Lens correction and lens flare we want off as well, and we'll keep lens flare on actually, it's quite nice. Ray marked reflections, now I put them onto low just because there's a bit of reflection sometimes from the wing to the body of the aircraft. I'll show you what I mean. If we go outside of the aircraft and have a look here, you can see, look, there's a bit of reflection just on the top of the wing there to the body. Just adding that in just makes it look that tiny bit spicier. And I mean, look at the graphics here, this is on low, and this is still very tasty in it. I mean, that's not bad at all, so there's not really anything to moan about there. The anti-aliasing can be a little bit ugly at points, but honestly, with the amount that it saves frame rate and all sorts, then I think it's worth doing. This is the standard Chicago in the game. I've tried to get another version of it going, but unfortunately something wasn't quite working for me, and I've not got all the time in the world today. I'm so sorry. Landing gear is down. We want the wipers off because they're very loud, and then we go upstairs. We've put batteries 1 and 2 on. Lovely. External power. Bang. As required. Very loud. APU master switch. And then APU start. And then APU lead. Crew oxygen supply goes on. Then the ADIRs go to nav. Left, right, centre. Next up is the nav and logo light. That is down here. It's usually over that side on the 737, so I need to stop getting in that theme. What's it called? That habit. Jesus. It's been a while actually. It's been about a month since I've done a flight, you know. Strobe light, interior lights as required. We don't really need any of them. Seatbelt signs on. We'll put the no smoking signs on as well. I'm pretty sure that they're next up. Yeah, no smoking signs. Emergency exit lights to arm. Fuel pumps on. FD, flight director, needs to go to the on position. Oh, I've got that camera still set up there. FD is on. Fuel quantity, we need to check that in a second. Barrow set. Let's go to the iPad. Look at the American coffee cups. That's cool, isn't it? Let's go to the iPad and check the barrow. What is it here? 1016 MCDU and then takeoff data. Okay, so let's go to this. So it's Atsu, if I remember this rightly anyway. AOC menu, init press, init data request. Cool. And then you go to init and then init request again. Banging. Flight level 250. That's smashing. Let's see what the flight plan is. Zydek, Laddie, OBK, Eviip. So yeah, easy. Okay, cool. 9 right, yep. Clear that. And then, yeah, on case or arrival, we're going to be ILS runway 1. Sound. So there will be a discontinuity there, I'm pretty sure. Oh, actually, no, it's got us going in on that. So we can get rid of that. Get rid of that. Get rid of that. If we go on to, we need to turn this screen up, well, don't we? The ND. If we go to plan, do that. Yeah, cool. Okay, so it's got us on a decent approach. That was one of the only problems on Navigraph. I'll show you on the chart. So I've had to manually insert stuff because look, that's what it thinks the departure is. It doesn't really know what to do. I had to add in Zydek and Laddie because it just had us going straight to OBK. And then we're going all the way up north. It's very simple, this plan. And then literally onto Eviip, and then that's us on the approach. It's not quite... Oh, it's not actually put it in there, but look. ILS runway 01, easy. So we can probably get rid of Eviip out of there. Like that. Okay, maybe not. Oh well, it'll be fine. We know what we're doing in the aircraft anyway. Okay, let's continue on with our checklist, shall we? So we're going to go flaps 1 for takeoff. We're going to go flex to temp 45 degrees. 0 fuel weight. Oh yeah, we need the block fuel, which is from the plan. Block fuel 4.43, so we'll go 4.5 today. And then we'll need to make sure on the iPad on here that we have the right amount of fuel on board. Yeah, 4.5. We'll do fast refueling time. We'll get that in. We also need to do a bit of GSX, don't we, to get the passengers and stuff on board. So let's see if we can operate the jetway here. Yes, jetway is going to work. Class. I've just turned the level of detail down to 75 a little bit just to get it a tiny bit smoother because it was affecting my frame rate quite a bit, but now it seems absolutely fine. So we're all good. So back into the aircraft we go. Takeoff data needs to be set actually. That's something I need to get back to on here. Perf. Can we get V1 speeds? Yes we can. 121. God, it's weird going back to the A320 and remembering just how low the speeds are compared to the 737. Usually V1 speed in the 73 is like 145. The aircraft has figured it out, which makes me really happy. Let's go to our init page, see if there's anything else that we need to do. Pretty sure we're alright. We need to now request boarding from GSX, so we'll get that on. I need to set this in the plane as well, actually. We need to do payload. We need to bring on, not a massive flight today, 105 passengers. We'll get them boarding now. But we need to turn our screens up, because unlike how it is here today in the UK, summer has suddenly arrived. It's very dark on these screens. In terms of a departure today, I'm not sure on the altitude, if I'm honest with you, so I'm just going to go for 5,000 feet in the box, and then we're going to climb up from there. Next up on the list will be the before start checklist. That's windows, doors, beacon, thrust levers, and all sorts. So we just wait for boarding now, really. We're going to sort the squawk code out as well. We're going to go from, I think it was on 1200 before, and obviously go for the NATO 2000 on there. We're going to go to auto on this, and then TA on there. That's probably a bit early for the checklist, but it's just so got something to do while the passengers are boarding, because it's taking its time at the moment. In terms of the aircraft itself, it thinks that it's got all the passengers on board now, so we've just got to wait for GSX to do its thing. Okay, as far as I know we are done, so we're just going to request pushback and departure. I'm not doing this flight on VATSIM today, by the way, just because I'm worried it might get a little bit messy because it's not a sort of traditional flight plan to this place, even though it is a real-world flight. So we're just going to go about it in the best way that we can without being on VATSIM. Fats him. We're going to request pushback now. Jetway is going to disappear. Goodbye. And here is Milady with her little bypass pin tag thingy. I hope you can hear that in the video. I don't think you can you? Because have I got GSX set as a program for audio? Let me see if I can do this now.
Locking gear.
Ah, there you go. You'll be able to hear it now. So GSX is its own program, basically, which is why you wouldn't have been able to hear it in the videos before. I thought because it came through Microsoft Flight Simulator, the audio was within the game, but it's actually in GSX. So we're going to be nose right, tail left. We're on stand Kilo 8 today.
Parking brake.
Cool. So now you can hear it. So we'll release parking brake.
Commencing push. All engines clear.
Cool.
Start at will.
So beacon light going on, which is this one. Thrust levers to idle. Parking brake, yep. APU on, APU bleed on. External power needs to be disconnected now. And then we will put engine mode into ignition. Start, which is this little knob here. That one. And then engine 2 master will come on. So here we go. Okay, so we've now pushed. We are on the parking brakes. We're then going to go to engine number 1 in just a sec. Now that said engine is started up. There you can hear that little click. That's when it changes over. Basically it means that there's electric power available from that. We'll still keep the APU on while we're starting the engines, obviously. But now we're going to flick this little knob down here. I can do it on my controls here though, and we're going to go for engine number 1.
Truck disconnected. Bypass pin removed. Left is clear. Right is clear.
Right, that's all good then. So engine mode goes back into normal. Flaps get set. That's flaps 1. Speed brakes get armed. Can't do that on these controls. Have to do it here. So pull up on that. APU bleed goes off. And then the APU master switch goes off. Anti-ice is required. ECAM status checked. So ground spoilers armed. Yep, that is all fine. Predicted wind shear is off. Okay, well we'll put that on. Thank you. What else? Pitch trim set. Don't care. Rudder trim 0. Runway turn-offs on. Nose light taxi. And then we'll do a brake test. Okay, cool. We've got our initial altitude set. That's the next thing on the checklist. And we need to check actually where we're taxiing today. We're going to runway 9 right from Kilo 8. So we're going to go on Alpha, left, right, flipping Nora. We've got a right taxi on us today. So we're going Alpha all the way around here. I think, do we go along there? Would it make life easier if we just go along here? I think it would, wouldn't it? And then Sierra, Sierra. So I'll go Alpha. That's red there, so we're not supposed to use that. So we'll stay on Alpha, go left. Not supposed to use that either, that's also red. God, there's loads of red areas you're not allowed to use here. Alright, so we'll follow the terminal all the way around. Alpha, Quebec. I'm writing this down because this is a mental route. We're going to go to holding point Victor Victor via Alpha, 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 Quebec, Uniform Sierra, Tango. Oh my god. Uniform Sierra, Tango, Juliet 1, Juliet, Victor Victor. Christ! Okay, well this is going to be fun. Let's crack on, shall we? Parking brake off. Let's not forget how much this plane can just roll on idle. It can really get going. And we're not going to do any of our checks for a little bit yet, in terms of the ECAM down there. Lovely to be back behind the controls of the A320neo again. This is the fly-by-wire A320neo. A lot of you would have seen as well, this isn't the latest version of the aircraft. I've had a bit of trouble this morning installing the latest one. And as I mentioned before, I'm slightly tight for time today, so I didn't really want to try completely uninstalling the thing to then reinstall fly-by-wire and so on. Have I already got it wrong? Have I already gone straight on where I shouldn't have? No, I'm already on Bravo. Welcome back to Flight Sim with Chaz. To be honest, you probably would taxi round on Bravo because Alpha is closer to the terminal, so when you're taxiing away, you'd want to be away from all the aircraft that could be potentially pushing back or pushing in. But we're going to follow Alpha all the way around. We're going to go around this right curve, then left, and then we're going to go on to Quebec. Was it? Yeah, Quebec Uniform Sierra Tango. Going this way. It seems like the taxiways don't quite line up on the standard version of this. Like I said, I've had some trouble getting the proper scenery downloaded for this. I do apologise, Lyle. This isn't the best example of my content for the one that you're chartering here, my friend. Why is there a sign in the middle of the taxiway? Excuse me. Yeah, this is why it's important to get proper scenery, I think, because some of these are very janky. This is Juliet 1 that we're getting onto now. This right-hander, which is here. Then we go left, right. Then we'll do our checks and everything, get all the lights and all sorts prepped, do our takeoff config, and then we'll be good to depart. Okay, this is the holding point now, Victor Victor for runway 9 right. So we're just going to pop it here for a second. We're going to whack the parking brake on. And now we return to our list. So before takeoff checklist, so 5,000 feet is the initial altitude, radar is required, predicted wind shear to auto, terrain on ND as required, auto brake to max, which it now is. We want the cabin crew advised, so we click all. There's the bing bong for them. Flaps set for takeoff, engine mode as required, that's fine, it's on ignition. No, it's not, it's on normal, sorry. TCAS TARA. Can we close the door? We haven't locked the door. I cannot get my words out today. ECAM takeoff memo, takeoff config, set to normal. Landing lights we want to come on. We want the nose light to take off. Strobe light auto or on. We're going to leave it on auto. Beacon, nav and logo. Yep, they're on. Runway turn-offs on. Right, smash him. Let's depart, shall we, everybody? This is... Oh yeah, the call sign, by the way, today is American 9 Charlie Delta. It would normally be an Embraer or Envoy that does this flight, which is like American Airlines regional aircraft. But we're doing it in an A320neo today, because why not? So this is American 9 Charlie Delta, lining at runway 9 right, Chicago. Very slowly. We've got flaps ready for takeoff, we've got our V-speeds in, we've got flight directors on. We're going to go directly out here, we're going to go immediate takeoff, so we're not going to hold about. I'm going to build the throttle up now to about 50%. I'm going to line the aircraft up beautifully with the centre line. Let's crack on. There's a sign in the middle of the runway, so that's a good start. Stabilised. Let's go. Manflex, SRS, runway all good and green. Even though there's a sign on the runway. 100 knots already. V1 and rotate. Oh, a little lean to the right, positive rate of climb, so gear is coming up. Tasty climb, that is. Chasing that flight director in that bottom left screen. Pulling up a little bit. Got it now. What a great departure. Straight out of Chicago. Boom. That's a solid climb. 4,500 feet up are we doing? Goodness me. Lever into climb. On the auto throttle. Following the flight director still. Never put my chrono on. Whoops. I always forget about that. It doesn't say it on the list either, to be fair. Flaps can come up. What a great start that was. We can start our left turn now. As we get to Zydek. Can disarm ground spoilers. We've reached altitude already, which is ridiculous. We're going to go autopilot for now. Let the autopilot manage that. Okay, after takeoff, so gear came up, flaps now retracted, packs on. Are they not already? Speed brakes disarmed, nose light goes to the off position, landing lights as required, and seatbelts as required. Cool. Does it still know what our cruising altitude is? Yes, flight level 250. Says check weight. No. Once we get past Laddie, we will climb up to 24,000 feet. 25,000 feet, sorry. Nice. I enjoyed that. The very busy area of Chicago. Dunlar. There's a nice little golf course down there, look. It's great to be back in the A320 again, though. Really do enjoy this aircraft, it's great. What a fantastic day to go flying as well. Look at that, not a cloud in the sky here of this very flat part of America. But my first American ops. Right, laddie's in. Let's click that and let's enjoy the view as we climb up to 25,000 feet. We are hauling up to 25,000 feet today. Absolutely hauling. 3,500 feet a minute at the moment on the climb. The time isn't quite synced up properly, so 15:57 it says. That's in 40 minutes time, so not a long flight at all this one today, but yeah, already stabilised up here now and continuing on our climb up to 25,000 feet. We're going to start messing about with all the performance stuff and getting everything prepared for when we get back down in a little bit, but yeah, enjoying this. It's great to be back in the sim. Okay, we're just reaching our cruising altitude now at 25,000 feet. So we're just going to make sure that we've got the procedures list the right way up. Seatbelt signs should have come off a while ago. Same with landing lights. Not going to lie, I've been a bit distracted. Constraints are still on. Barrow is still set to standard. That's fine. We need to just do minimums and engine mode and so on. Not a huge amount to do, to be honest. Not a huge amount to do, but that's what I love about the A320, you know. It's a very, very chilled aircraft to fly. I've really enjoyed the 737 because it's a bit more manual, there's a bit more going on. But I really, really do love this A320 for how simple it is to fly sometimes. Don't tell my mate Drew that because he'll kill me. But yeah, there's jokes about the fact that, you know, you press one button in the A320 and you fly there, and then in the 737 you've got to wrestle the thing to your destination. But I love being able to chill like this and enjoy flights that are as short as this as well. So thank you, Lyle, for being so considerate with the length of this flight. I don't know what else to say, but thank you. It's great to be doing it again. We ought to put in our destination data, don't we? Because that's something that you have to do in this aircraft. So it's 1016 back down there on, wow, it's 6 degrees Celsius. That's very, very cold. So what we need to do is put perf in. Let's go to the correct camera for it. So we go to the next phase, descent, and this. Okay, so it's going to be 1016 on the ground. Temperature is 6 degrees. The winds are what? Was it 250? No. 250 at 1? 260 at 1. 260 at 01. Barometric, yes, we need to get the minimums. So we need to open the chart. What are the barometric minimums? 1380. So 1380. As far as I know, that's it. Nice, tidy, easy, done, sorted. Do we need to... No, we don't actually in this aircraft. I was just thinking. Trying to get my words out. We don't need to tune the localizer in this. It tunes it automatically. If you did want to do that, though, the frequency for it is up here. And the final approach course as well, 013. So what are we going to intercept the ILS at? Is that 2,700? Yeah, 2,700. I don't think it's a very big runway either, you know. So this could be a spicy stop. We might have to really slam on the brakes. Look at the crosswind we've got. 54 knot crosswind at the moment. Look how flat this part of the world is, man. I can't believe it. It's so flat. And it's all really straight and square as well. It's so different to what we see over here in Europe. You Americans love a straight line, don't you? Why don't we go to this, and we'll have a little bit of a time lapse for a bit, and I'll see you in a sec. I feel that time lapse was somewhat ruined by the scenery popping in as we were driving along, flying along. But still, that's fine. I'm just going to look at our progress now and see how long we have until top of descent. Top of descent, 73 nautical miles yet. We've still got a really heavy crosswind, 61 knots at the moment. So the aircraft's pointing that way, but we're technically sort of heading in that direction. We're going that way. I do like the scenery around here though. Like I said before, it's very flat and it's very square, but it's quite cool for that. It's like a vast open plain. There's an airport down there. What airport would that be? Appleton International. We've got Oshkosh just to our left rear as well somewhere. There it is. Oshkosh down there. Oshkosh hosts quite a lot of aviation festivals and things, if I remember rightly. Remember there was a massive, is it called something about a Bonanza? The G36 Bonanzas? They have a massive fly-in every year. There's hundreds of them all at once. It's really cool. Like we can see the landing lights from all the way up here as well. That's cool. Just as a bit of an update as well, I'm just messing about with my graphics again here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put it on medium and turn all the depth of field and motion blur and bloom and stuff off. Raymark reflections and light shafts, reflections on medium, light shafts off. There's just a few other bits as well that you could maybe turn off as well. But just having it on medium, I only run an RTX 2070 and you can still make it look mighty pretty. Like mighty pretty. It's still quite contrasty as well. I think when you turn the bloom off it takes away a bit of the contrast, but yeah, I think it looks really good even on medium graphics. I mean, if we go to this view outside the aircraft, look how contrasty that is now. Oh, don't know what that flash was there. Oh, the scenery's been a bit of a pain, but yeah, you know what I mean? It's still very tasty. And look at some of the reflections there on the chrome part on the front of the wing. Tasty. Dead good. Medium will do. Because let's not forget, my PC's having to render this, do the game, and record it at the same time, and record the camera, so it's doing a lot. Anyway, we have 52 miles to our top of descent, so we're not quite getting there just yet, but we'll be there before we know it, I'm very sure. Doesn't look like there's any cloud in front of us, so nothing to worry about in that regard. All the cloud is over to the left-hand side. Right, so we're going to get the altitude plumbed in now for where we're going to intercept this ILS 2700. That's where we're going to grab it from. Okay, so we're going to drag this all the way down to 2700. So we change that to, oh no, what have I just flicked? We're going to change that to 100s and then we'll do 2700 on there. There's the top of descent marker. So not long to go now. What's that, 19 miles? 18 miles. Still no cloud in front of us. It's a bit humid and sort of hazy up there, but it's just because it's so flat everywhere. All the cloud and everything is now pretty much behind us. The temperature down there is still 1016, but the wind speed has changed. It's 270 at 2 now, so we should maybe get that changed. So it's 270 at 2. As of when this video goes live as well, the PMDG 777 would have just been out for a couple of days. I do plan on flying it. I will fly the PMDG 777 at some point. Not in the next month, but at some point. I will get into learning that plane. My very first flight of it, I will record. I will record it. We're not going to be doing 9-hour flights in it though. We're going to maybe do 3-4 hour flights. It's not going to be huge stuff. I don't really have the time to do anything sort of transatlantic or even stuff down to Qatar. Maybe as a one-off special one day if I've got a complete day free, I'll record something like that because I won't time accelerate it. I'll just want to be in the plane for the full 8 or 9 hours, however long it's going to be. But yeah, I do plan on flying that. Still waiting for the Bluebird 757, of course, but I'm hoping, and I think I'm right in understanding that they're quite similar in terms of their systems. It's just obviously the performance figures and all the calculations are very different just based on the size of the aircraft. So I will be flying both of them at some point, so hold on to your hats for that. But yeah, the 777 will be coming to my channel at some stage, and it'll be the first wide body that I fly here. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. I love a 777. Anyway, time to descend. Let's click the button, shall we? Told it now 2,700 feet. And it's going to start descending shallow. It knows there's a restriction at 3.5, which is good. So, yeah, begin the descent now.
Full approach. If you are up, once you return to your seat, we ask that you remain seated until the aircraft arrives safely at the gate. Flight attendants, please prepare the cabin for arrival.
We've still got a very heavy crosswind against us to the right-hand side, so we are on an angle at the minute. Throttles are on idle, though. And the aircraft is, to be fair, descending quite quickly at this present moment, nearly 3,000 feet a minute down. So landing, we need to advise the cabin crew. We're not going to be doing any of this just yet, though. Landing lights need to come back on at 10,000 feet, and then we need to put the seatbelt signs on. To be fair, I'll put them on now, actually. Put the seatbelt signs on. Come on. There you go. We're on profile at the minute, a little bit fast. We're in the top end of the speed at this present time. That's absolutely fine. We could maybe put a bit of drag in. We'll put some speed brake in. And yeah, I don't really think there's much else to do. We need to change the pressure back soon. Well, there you go. 1016. We've got the minimum set. We've got the barrow set. So yeah, it's just going to be landing lights soon. I've put some more air brake in just to slow it down. You can hear it, actually. You can hear the rumble of it. It's literally going to be a straightforward arrival, I believe, because we've got an ILS at least, so we can intercept that. We've not been in the air long at all. It's been about 40 minutes since we took off. I'm not even sure what the scenery is going to look like at Sawyer, whether there's going to be any buildings. It looks like a tiny airport. In terms of the auto brakes, we're just going to go for medium on auto brakes. We're not going to go max. Well, you're not supposed to use max on landing, actually. You're supposed to just use that for takeoff. Okay, getting up to 10,000 feet now, or getting down to 10,000 feet, so we're going to put landing lights on. We're going to make sure the seatbelt signs are on, which they very much are. Okay, now we're below 10,000 feet. The aircraft is having to slow down. We're still a little bit higher than the flap speed, I believe. That orange line is where we can start to put flaps in. Bring the air brakes out a little bit more, because we need to speed this descent up, if I'm honest with you. I'm going to put landing system on just so it can start to pick up whatever it needs to in a little bit. We'll put some flaps in a sec. 250 is the flap speed, actually. Wonder if we... Nope. Let's not do that. Let's tell it to reduce the speed. Let's bring it down to 200 knots. It's got a little bit messy, but it's not too bad. Not too bad at this point. That is the runway. Runway in sight, everybody. Now we can bring the flaps down. We've still got the air brakes out. We're above profile. We're underneath the glide slope, which is fine. Need to look for those orange lines to go next level of flaps. 3, 2, 1. Flaps. Cool, so auto throttle is on at the moment. Cabin crew need advising of something. As oh wow, we're dropping. Oh, we're dropping. We'll bring it down 180. Taking the air brakes out now, so we can just let the aircraft float on idle. We're just slightly off centre. Put approach on. There we go. Cat 1, Cat 3 single. Bang. Smashing. Speed is 121 on the approach today. On the V-app. Localizer is captured. It's descending. It's got the glide slope lined up. Cool. We're going to remain at 180. We're going to bring the gear down. Gear is down and she is descending fast. So what we're going to do is we're going to bring the speed way back to 140 knots. And then we're going to bring the next notch of flaps in so she can float. And then we're going to go flaps full. Runway in sight all the way down there. We're going to be intercepting the ILS very soon. You can see that purple diamond is off the screen at the moment above. We're right on the centre line. And yeah, I think we are all configured to go. We need to do the auto brakes. Spoilers need to be armed as well. We need to auto brake medium. Let's land at Sawyer, everybody. This is going to be a really shallow arrival by the look of it. We're almost climbing at this point, because we've got to that 2,700 really early. If anything, we're probably a bit slow at the moment, so it might be a bit of a long sort of float in, but that's fine. to bring the speed down to 121. That's our final approach speed. As it's tipped the nose up and levelled out to do so. We're still below the glide slope because we don't get it until Follock. That diamond is going to start moving down there now. You see it's a triangle at the moment. Oh, she's pitched up quite a bit there. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Honey, what are you doing? Oh, she's getting a little bit more height back because we've reached the speed and now the aircraft is pitching up to sort of compensate. Now it's a solid diamond and it's coming in. Glide slope is prepared. It's ready. It knows what the barometric minimums are. This does feel like one of the longest approaches I've ever done. I've definitely had this configured. Excuse me, a little bit too early. Need to check the cabin. All is good. No blue on the ECAM. I'm going to fly this in once we get to 1,000 feet barometrics. Or, well, we get the... No, I think we get a barometric... No, we get a radio call out at 1,000, don't we? Ready as soon as that purple diamond there goes in. That's going to go green. Like that. And then she's going to dive on the glide slope. It's quite a short glide slope actually, because what are we? 5 miles out? Less than that from the touchdown zone. Okay. Into Sawyer, an airport, to be fair, until Lyle messaged me about it, I hadn't heard of. But now we're on the glide slope, we're on an ILS. I'm happy. I'm happy here. The aircraft stabilising. We're going to get a 1,000 call out any second now.
1,000.
Like that. And it is now my plane. Auto throttle is still on, so I'm just controlling where the aircraft points at this stage. And I'll tell you what, the aircraft was doing a lot to stop the fact that it's moving around a lot here. Wow. I'm looking at the flight director on that bottom screen there. Try and stay with it, but it's nice and stable now. This does look like a small little airport, this. Doesn't look like the runway is particularly short. Drop the nose down a slight bit. Just above the glide slope. Got 2 white, 2 red on the pappies. From what I can see, it's a blur of pixels down
400.
there. A little bit below. Fallen slightly below the glide slope, but that's okay. We're aiming at that touchdown zone, the 2 white
above.
squares. We're into land. And by that I mean that it's gone green on the screen saying land, so it's sort of like land mode.
Minimum.
Continue. A little bit off centre here as well. It feels like we are anyway.
50. 40, 30, 20, retard, 10, 5.
Oh, pudding. Pudding. Auto brakes doing their magic. No need for reversers. Can we get off at this taxiway? Yes. We absolutely can. Okay. Spoilers stowed, flaps retracted. Welcome to Sawyer, everybody. Not even sure if we're supposed to get off at this taxiway, to be completely honest with you. But we are off. We are clear of runway 01. And we're just going to park it here for just a moment while we get ready to clean everything up. Lovely landing that. Really pleased with that one. Okay, so after landing checklist, speed brakes are disarmed, engine mode into normal. Did I have to change that at some point? Weird. That's just to make sure, I think. Flaps are retracted. TCAS goes to standby. Thank you. Radar off. Predicted wind shear comes off. APU master switch goes on, followed by the start switch a few seconds later. Anti-ice, yeah, that's fine. Landing lights come off. Nose light goes to taxi. Strobe lights go to off. Runway turn-offs come on. Nice. Now we're going to figure out where we're going to park. I don't think there's a massive amount of parking at this airport. I think there's only a few spaces. It doesn't even have them on here. Goodness me. This is how small an airport this is. It's a tiny regional airport. It looks like there's only about 5 or 6 flights a day, but it's cool to come somewhere unique like this. Unfortunately, no scenery for this place. I imagine we'll be going straight on. We're just going to park up again and we'll have a look. Let's give it a chance. Give it a proper look. Stop the chrono. Let's have a ganders. So yeah, we've got a ramp in front of us. There are 2 gates there actually. We can go over to those. We'll go over to the right-hand gate of those 2 as the floor decides to load in bit by bit. That's not ugly at all. To be fair, that's where GSX is expecting us to look, because there's already all of the kit there and the person ready to guide us in. So we'll go there. So we'll go straight on here. And then we're going to be turning left, and then literally just turning right into the gate. There's no centre line here, by the look of it. So we'll just sort of go this way. But there is a yellow line for us to follow. Once we get close enough to the gate. Like I say, very, very few flights here every day, so they've only got a couple of gates. They don't need much more than that. Let's see, there's that yellow line, so I've turned a little bit early for that. Just keeping an eye on it out of the right window. There we go. Nice. Cool, so we should have our ramp operative spawn in any moment. No? Where have you gone? Don't stop. Oh. Where have they gone? There was someone there a minute ago. You saw it, didn't you? Maybe go over to the left a little bit. I don't know where they've gone.
You need to stop the engines to request ground services.
Oh, shut up. Well, we'll park it like this. Stuff it. And... there. That feels like we've run over somebody. Let's have a look. Hey, you know what? That's not bad, actually. That's not bad. I had to start the restart GSX earlier on, so I'm not sure if it's actually going to do anything now, but we'll see. We're at the gate, so we need to now have shutdown parking brake. Nose light goes off. I mean, to be fair, it's probably a good thing that there was no operative there, because we would have blinded them. Runway turn-offs go off, so they definitely would have been blind. APU bleed on. Engines master 1 and 2 will come off. That's these 2 down here. We're going to do engine number 2 first, and then number 1. Okay, so GSX, let's see if this jetway will join us. Sound. Good stuff. Let's request deboarding. And we'll get some... why don't we get some refueling going on, just to make it look pretty.
Refueling truck is on its way.
Thank you. What's this? Well, at least we've got a jetway. But yeah, this has been American 9 Charlie Delta from Chicago O'Hare to Sawyer, as requested and chartered via my website. Again, there's going to be a link in the description to that, by Lyle Headley. I'm so sorry if I'm not pronouncing that right, Lyle. But yeah, really appreciate you doing that for me, Lyle. It's really, really good stuff. I've enjoyed this flight. It's something different. An airport, 2 airports I've never flown from before, in beautiful conditions. It's a great day. It's much like it is out here in the UK, but I've had to have my curtains closed, otherwise you wouldn't be able to see me. But we're on the ground here at Sawyer after a short flight today, and hopefully I'll be doing more of these in the future. If you want to charter a flight as well, don't forget there's some terms and conditions to it. It's got to be sort of less than 3 hours total time for me to be able to record it and do it all, otherwise it's just a bit crazy. But yeah, I hope that we'll do some more of these in future. Thank you very much again to Lyle, and thank you all of you for watching. Really hope you've enjoyed this episode, and I'll see you in the next one here on Microsoft Flight Simulator.